Welcome to the Champions Chat, where tonight we dig into that intense clash between Benfica and Barcelona.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
one with so many twists.
Right. It's that nail-biter where Barcelona edged it 1-0, despite being a man down for most of the match.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw the early shift when Cubarsí got that red card at 22 minutes, leaving Barcelona to fight with 10 men for long stretches.
And that decision, it really set the tone, right? Suddenly, the game was playing on a razor's edge.
And then there's the moment in the 61st minute. Raphinha steps up, gets a neat pass from Antonio Silva's miscue, and fires a strike that sealed it for Barcelona.
It's almost like you could say it was a turning point showcasing both the brilliance and the slip-ups, because that error really cost Benfica dearly.
Exactly. Sometimes you need just one moment of brilliance. And Raphinha delivered brilliantly with that low shot flicked into the bottom right corner.
And don't forget about the overall defensive performance from Barça, especially the way Wojciech Szczesny rose to the challenge, making saves that could have easily changed the outcome if missed.
Yeah, Szczesny was practically on a mission tonight, saving from shots by both Pavlidis and Aktürkoğlu, almost making up for his previous struggles from that 5-4 thriller back in January.
Speaking of which, that January game was wild on its own, but tonight's match had its own drama, especially with that tactical shift after the red card.
Absolutely. After Cubarsí went off, Barcelona really switched gears, slowing the pace and effectively cutting down Benfica's momentum so that they wouldn't build a proper attack.
But don't you think some might say that being a man down might have led them to be too defensive? Although in this game, the German referee Felix Zweier ensured the discipline was firm.
It's true. Even with that man disadvantage, Barça managed a balance, keeping possession around 52% despite the adversity, and countering effectively when the opportunity struck.
And on the topic of opportunities, Benfica did have their fair share, right?
Yeah,
but unfortunately, their chances never really materialized into a goal.
Right, they piled on the pressure, especially in the second half, yet their front line just couldn't break through, thanks largely to a disciplined defense led by Íñigo Martínez.
And speaking of defenses, it was interesting to see how the Barcelona backline, with players like Koundé and Martinez, managed to keep Benfica's attack at bay, even while juggling an offside or two here and there.
Yeah, and also the tactical substitutions were fascinating, bringing in players like Renato Sanchez for Benfica, showing they were desperate to shore things up even in that dire state.
True, although Sanchez didn't really change the course of things by the end, but it showed that Benfica still had fight even when their star names were missing.
That's a great point. I mean, Benfica had a few injuries and suspensions stirring the pot, like Di Maria out and Bruma missing due to suspension, adding layers of complexity for them.
And on the flip side, Barcelona were riding pretty high with a strong front three, Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal, who collectively were proving to be a formidable attacking force this season.
Right, they've scored 69 goals between them so far, which is impressive considering the pressures of the knockout stages, and it signals a deep threat on any opponent.
I mean, you gotta wonder, could Benfica have exploited some more tactical nuance even after the early red? The reality is, the margin for error was super slim.
Absolutely, and speaking of margins, the officiating was also under the spotlight. Like Cubarsí's red was a big turning point, and VAR certainly confirmed that decision to keep the game in check.
Yep, VAR's intervention truly underscored the match's tension, ensuring that all the controversial moments were properly vetted.
And while we're on controversies, let's also remember that moment when Belotti thought he had won a penalty,
but it
ultimately fell flat because he was offside. Another twist in the narrative.
It just shows every little detail was amplified because of the high stakes of the match.
Right, yeah.
A true showcase of Champions League intensity.
Totally. And we can't miss the fact that this match, despite being almost an uphill battle with 10 men, gave Barcelona a certain psychological boost, almost locking in a quarter-final spot with that win.
Right. Having a quarter-final place in their grasp now, especially with a strong defensive and attacking lineup, it adds a thrilling edge heading into the next leg.
And let's not forget the atmosphere at the Estadio da Luz. Fireworks, wild chants, and dramatic moments in the stands, all contributing to an electric environment that kept everyone on the edge of their seats.
The fans sure played a part. It was like the fireworks weren't just on the pitch, but also in the stands,
Totally.
adding a layer of chaotic beauty to an already chaotic match.
I gotta say, the narrative of this match is almost cinematic. Red cards, last-minute heroics, and errors that completely altered the course of the game.
Right, indeed.
It had all the dramatic twists you'd expect in a top-tier Champions League showdown.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's these very imperfections like Silva's error that really underscore how even the smallest moment can tip the scales, reminding us that football is as much a game of mistakes as it is of brilliance.
Yeah. It's like watching a high-stakes chess match where one slip, just one tiny misstep, can lead to a checkmate moment.
Exactly.
And tonight, Raphinha was the one who made that winning move.
Yet, I do have a small challenge here. I feel like sometimes we give too much credit to these individual moments when the overall team spirit should also be highlighted. What do you think?
That's a fair point, and while Raphinha's goal is undeniably the highlight, the collective effort in maintaining structure, especially after the red card, was just as remarkable. A true team performance under pressure.
Absolutely. It was a united front, defensive resilience from Martinez and Balde, midfield composure from De Jong and Pedri, all coming together to weather the storm.
And looking ahead, this win bolsters Barca's confidence going into the return.
Exactly,
making it a must-watch showdown for the next fixture.
No doubt there, and it's interesting to see how both teams, despite their setbacks, are already strategizing for what's next.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Benfica trying to rebound and Barça aiming to build on this momentum.
Right. The tactical nuances, like Benfica's efforts to exploit their numerical advantage early on, and then Barcelona's calculated risk-taking despite the disadvantage, really make this match a goldmine for analysis, offering insights into modern football's evolving strategies.
Yeah, it's a fascinating case study, and every detail from the starting lineup choices to individual moments now feeds into the story of this Champions League tie, keeping fans and analysts buzzing until the very end.
So, wrapping it up, what a game it was. Full of drama, strategy, and those split-second moments that define football, a reminder of why we keep coming back to this beautiful game. Yeah.
Truly, it was a match that encapsulated so much of what makes the Champions League magical: heart-stopping moments, tactical brilliance, and a touch of chaos that makes every second count, leaving us eagerly anticipating the next chapter in this tie.
Thanks for diving deep into the action with me tonight. Until next time,
awesome.
Keep reliving those epic moments.
Absolutely. Catch you soon for more thrilling football discussions, and keep the passion alive.